my game week rank going into game week 6 and my game week rank coming out of game week 6. Welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are well. This is going to be your game week 7 preview, but we've learned some lessons from game week 6. So we're obviously going to touch on that and my team, as well as looking at some differentials, but most importantly, the 3 big questions of the game week. Question number 1, which we'll start with, is are we looking at any double game week players? Should we look at Burnley? Should we look at Luton? We got some data to go through, so let's crack on with it. Right, I know many of you will be thinking of Carlton Morris, and maybe he's someone that I'll be bringing into my team. So, Luton, it's a tough away trip to Goodison Park. You don't expect much change there for Luton, but maybe they've got a chance, right? So we go, okay fixture, and then they're at home to Burnley, where surely Luton will be the favourites. Burnley go to Newcastle, which is so tough, and then they go to Luton. So I don't think we're that big on Burnley players, but maybe for Luton we like 1 or 2. So best way of evaluating their attacks and defences are, I'm looking at all the teams in the league and looking first at the worst attacking teams in the league so far this season. I'm going to use XG. Got this from the Scout members area. So for the worst attack in the league so far, at 20th, they've only accumulated 4.06 XG. Burnley. I don't think we're going to be punting on Burnley attackers. They're the worst attack in the league, followed by Sheffield United and Fulham and Forest, and then we have Luton at 16th. So sure, Luton aren't great, but they've produced 6.66 XG. They have had a couple of pens, it's worth noting, but we feel like we can back Luton a little bit more in terms of goals, perhaps, than Burnley, especially given the fixtures, right? So that's assessing the attacks. What about the defenders from both these teams? Who are the worst defences so far in the league? Well, biggest XGC, expected goals conceded so far by country mile, is Sheffield United. Yeah. Then it's Fulham, then it's West Ham, then it's Bournemouth, then Wolves, then Brighton. So we're looking at the worst 2, 4, 6 teams. Can't see Burnley, can't see Luton. Okay, so maybe they're not that bad defensively. Should we be backing them at the back? Well, Luton are 11th. Not bad at all. And Burnley are 9th. For the best defence in the league in terms of expected goals conceded. So, in summary, Burnley, we definitely don't look at their attackers, but maybe we look at their defenders. There's a lot with Bayer, but you could go to a goalkeeper for save points, maybe. I'm not going to Burnley. Luton, either end of the pitch. Many of us have got a Luton defender on our bench, Kabore, for example. I think you play him. I'm playing Kabore over, say, a Colwill, right, who's got Fulham away, but I'm going to go 2 bites at the cherry. And then if you're shopping for an attacker, it's Carlton Morris or it's no one across both teams, in my opinion. I think Lyle Foster for Burnley looks quite good, but he's suspended. So, yeah, you can't go there now. I think Morris will be in my team come game week 7. I think he will be. But I've got Nico Jackson, so it's much easier to sell. So, look, that's the double game week chat. Let's look at the rest of the game week. We've got 2 big questions. One is around Man United midfielders, and the other one's around Liverpool and wildcarding, right? But before we do that, we're going to have a look at my team. So let's have a look, because I said at the top of the show, an amazing rank. I'm delighted. It was just one of those weeks where everything fell into place. You have one of those every season. Not every season, every few seasons. My luck's now been and gone. But I want to give you a quick nod into what my plans are. So I had returns all over the pitch. Every player returned. The biggest returns, Trippier's 18. The midfield 5, Son 14, Saka 13, Foden 11, Matoma 14, Maddison 9. The only blanker in it was Nico Jackson. He's suspended, so my plans moving forward will be to sell Jackson and probably go Morris, but I still like Darwin Núñez as well. But Morris gives me more money, which gives me more flexibility. So I think that's where I'll be going this week. But yeah, the rank was insane, 2.3 million at the start of game week 6, Saturday morning. Come Sunday evening, I'm under 200k, 180. You can have those weeks, guys. Anyone can. You can go the other way as well. Game week 5 to game week 6, I had a massive red arrow. I lost 1.5 million or a million plus in rank. So now I've clawed it back and gone 2 million the other way. You can have those weeks. Keep playing, play your own game. And look, don't follow the template move. Was I worried about not having Alvarez this week, knowing the world and their dog were buying him and he'd gone up in price 3 times? No, I was like, I've got Foden, And I'm cool with that. I don't think there's much between Foden and Alvarez. Don't think there's much between them at all. When you look at the average position map, I'm like, yeah, they're both like very, very good picks, but they play in very similar positions on the pitch, close to Haaland. They share set pieces. So pretty happy with that one. Pretty happy with that one indeed. Big question number 2, though. We have to address the Man United mids, don't we? But before we do, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Sorare. Now, many of you play a variety of fantasy games. FPL, I'm sure, for many of you is your game of choice. If you want to adopt another fantasy game, though, check out Sorare. I'm really enjoying it. It's one of 3 fantasy games I play. I play the Serie A one, FPL, and Sorare. There's a lot of people that make a lot of money out of Sorare. I'm not there yet. I'm still a casual. I'm learning the ropes. But as I do that, I thought you guys might want to learn as well. So there's a link in the description. Give it a go if you fancy it. There's all sorts of good stuff up for grabs if you click that link. So many are doubled up on Rashford and Bruno since game week 1. And I get why, like, good picks. The problem is if you've got double Man United midfield, you're not only occupying 2/5 of your midfield with Man United, but you're occupying like close to 20 million. That's 1/5 of your budget on an attack that clocked less than 1 XG away to Burnley. It's an attack that hasn't scored many goals this season. It's an attack that justifies 1 FPL asset at a push. It's not an attack that justifies 2. So I think you have to sell one of them. Which one is a tough one? Bruno looked really good, playing more advanced. With no Anthony in the team. We know he's on pens. Rashford, however, the heat map, let's have a look at it. Most advanced man on the pitch. He often is. Even when Højlund's in the team, Rashford's super high. Bit like Salah at Liverpool. The wide man, the wide forward that doesn't have defensive responsibility, Rashford, Salah, is often higher than the number 9, Darwin, Højlund, whoever. The fixtures are good for United, but not great. 2 homes up next. However, Crystal Palace is a good defence and Brentford is a good defence. You can't double up on United any longer, I don't think. So you've got to make the decision if you're on them. You sell one. If you own one and you're looking and you want to get to a Son, I would sell Rashford or Bruno to Son in a heartbeat, for example. So you can get away with selling both or one. My preference on which one to hold, after seeing the Burnley game, I'd probably go Bruno and save a little bit of money as well. Especially when so many are looking to accommodate Mo Salah in their teams, aren't they? So Mo Salah. How do we get him in? It's not so simple. Most of us can get to Mo Salah in 2 moves. A 4-point hit or a roll of the transfer. But you're doing it and you don't know who you're selling. And you're doing it and you're not happy with the rest of your 11. So for me, the only way of getting Mo Salah into my team where I'm going to be happy is on a wild card. Now, do I think I can go without Mo Salah for the next couple of weeks? Yeah, I do. I really do. Like, it's 2 away games. It's away games I think they'll score goals. They go to Spurs. They go to Brighton. Salah will probably tick along nicely. Do I see massive returns for him? Probably not. Do I see massive returns for him from game week 9 when the fixture run is incredible from game week 9, starting with Everton at home, Forest at home? I need Salah, and I probably need double or triple Liverpool, which is why I think I'll end up wildcarding game week 9. I'm not committing to that wildcard yet, but I think I'll probably end up pulling the trigger because it'll be the only way I can get Salah and be happy with the rest of my team. So I'm still going to want Son and Haaland. So to accommodate Son, Haaland, Salah, we're going to need some enablers as well. We'll come on to some cheap enablers in a sec. And I think I'll be forced into the wildcard. I might even want Liverpool defence, you know. I might want to go Darwin. So Liverpool are a team I definitely want to invest big on. And on a wildcard, by the way, around game week 9, I can also jump on Aston Villa players. Don't have any of them. Brighton have a good run from game week 10. Newcastle, again, I've just got trips. Maybe I'll definitely want Botman and one or maybe a Gordon because I'll need an enabler, for example. So that'll be when a lot wildcard. It's between the international break of 8 and 9. So we'll have 2 weeks to tinker as well. That will suit many, won't it? So that's my rough thinking. Let's have a look at the fixture ticker though. Again, this is from the Scout members area. I filtered it just for the next 4 weeks because I'm like, if I don't wildcard ahead of game week 9, it might be ahead of game week 11. So let's just look at the 4 weeks and Luton and Burnley at the top. Great. But Newcastle, Villa, that high. And again, that teams I've only got one player between those 2 clubs. Tottenham are high. Again, if we wildcard game week 9, we can ditch our Chelsea assets. They go on a really bad run. Man United have a tough run from then on as well. So I like the fact we can reshuffle, and I think that's where I'll go. But maybe I'll have a look at this ticker just for the next couple. I do think my moves though this week will be, I'm just going to back Morris because I own Jackson. I'll let you know on Thursdays, or probably around Thursday, I'll be out my team selection video. I'll let you know what my plans are. But look, we've said we might need to reshuffle things around. I'm always on the hunt for a differential, as you guys know. So let's talk about some differentials, shall we? Because from someone that's just had a really good week, my team, let's have a quick look at my team again. Come on. Indulge me, guys. Indulge me. Thank you for liking the stream as well. 112 points. I just want to touch on that team, because there's a lot of players in there that are highly owned. But it's not the template team. And you can have those big green arrows if you're slightly different from the template. And that's where I think I'm landing. It's not a team full of differentials. It's not a team of many differentials. But it's a team that's also not template. So, for example, the big move 3 weeks ago was to go Sterling in. I didn't do that. The big move this week was to go Alvarez in. I didn't do that. But I've still had Chelsea covered, and I've still got Man City covered. Doubling up on Spurs in itself is a differential, because most have one or the other, Son or Mads. And then Gvardiol and Trippier, if you don't own a Newcastle defender, get one. Because Newcastle and City last season, we spoke about it in loads pre-season if you've been watching this channel, best 2 defences in the league. Again, we're going to keep seeing that. They will keep clean sheets aplenty. Now, the City defenders don't offer upside. Gvardiol's a bit of a boring pick, and he's not nailed either, by the way. I might sell Gvardiol. Diaz is the only one. Walker feels it at the moment, that are absolutely nailed. But you'll get lots of 6 and 7 pointers from them. Newcastle, you'll get lots of 6-7 pointers from your Botmans and Shares and Burns. But Trippier has such high ceiling, and he gets forward at will when he's playing the right opposition. The reason we don't all own Trippier is because the first few weeks of the season he's not had good attacking numbers, because he's had dreadful fixtures. When he plays tough opposition, you can't expect much, but he will go to a Sheffield United and get 3 assists. Next week he's got Burnley at home. I wouldn't be surprised to see another assist or 2. He's a really good buy, and someone that I think should be on many radars. If you own Chilwell, again, this is a big question this week. If you own Chilwell, jump off and get Trippier for me, or go down to a Botman and save the money as you're trying to accrue more for Salah. So just my take there on what to do with your Chilwell dilemma. So we added that as an extra burning question. But let's move to the differentials. And you're going to need some enablers. I'm still not set on my keepers. So my enabler number 1, not necessarily an enabler, my good price differential, someone I like the look of and I might go to on a wild card, is Emi Martinez. He's 6.4% owned and just kept a clean sheet against Chelsea. Again, we know from years gone by, he picks up bonus well. He's become a bit of a saves monster as well. Emi Martinez and that Aston Villa defence is really good. I get it though, you might want to go to a Matty Cash, similar price, higher upside. Just depends on what other defensive spots you've got. But Martinez, for me, could become one of the standout goalkeepers, if not the standout goalkeeper. David Raya is another one, obviously, I'm going to be looking at on a wild card, knowing he's clearly number 1 at Arsenal. Differential number 2, not necessarily a wild card pick, but even just for next week, if you don't own a Rashford or a Bruno and you're selling those guys to get more money, someone like me who doesn't own a Man United midfielder, Højlund, at his price, starting at Man United, a good team, not a great team for FPL at the moment, but he's 4.4% owned. So again, Højlund, good enough fixtures to play him. Clearly looks like the solution Man United need at number 9. Hasn't exactly exploded, but he's hit the ground running. He's looked good. Scored against Bayern Munich, didn't he? He had the goal disallowed in FPL the week before that. So, yeah, a good player. And then, finally, guys, I want to talk to you about a player that it's been on our FPL, been on our radar and if you've played FPL for 4 or 5 years, you know how good this guy can be, and you'll remember him from Watford. Have you guessed who I'm talking about yet? So he was at Watford. He's known at Watford for scoring goals, having hot streaks, but then having really cold streaks. He's known as a box-to-box midfielder, but he's now at Everton. Right? You getting it? He's now at Everton, playing for Sean Dyche, and rather than playing as a number 8, he's almost playing as a number 10. He's the closest man to the striker quite often, and that is Decore. Sean Dyche is using him in a midfield 3 with Onana and Gay, who pretty much just sit. Should we have a look at the average position map from the weekend just gone? You can see behind him there, Gay and Onana just completely sat. And then next to number 7, Dwight McNeil, the wide forward, you've got Gardner, the other winger on the other side, 37. But Doucouré, who is number 16, pretty close there to the number 9. He scored the goal. He hit the bar. Under Sean Dyche, he's given a bit more licence. And the next couple of fixtures for Everton, if you fancy a punt, you need a 5.5 asset in your team. I don't think Everton are going to have a better run of 2 games this season because it's home games, which is so important for them. By the way, they've just beaten Brentford, probably the surprise result of the weekend. Home games against Luton and Bournemouth. I think Doucouré could be a bit of fun. By the way, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored again. You just bring him in and he gets injured though. That's your concern. But definitely one to monitor there. Is if you want to go short term on Everton, I don't mind that. And if you own Pickford, I think you'll get a clean sheet finally. So that's my take of the game week preview so far. What about captaincy? We'll talk more about that on Thursdays or the team selection video, shall we? But I feel many of us will be going Haaland, myself included. Guys, thank you for supporting the channel. You've been liking, but if you fancy sharing or subscribing to the channel, that'd be amazing. I really do value your support, and I get back to as many comments as I can in the chat. Apologies if I can't always respond. I do often have to prioritize the channel members, but I will be looking for your comments too. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for supporting me as I got 112 points. I know many of you will be happy for me. You might be gutted about your own score, but I promise you guys, it could be a red arrow for me and a green arrow for you next time. That's just the game. It's all so tight. You only need 1 week and you climb massively in rank if you have that one good green arrow. And every manager will have one of those in the not too distant, I have no doubt about it. So stay strong, enjoy the game, play your own game, and I'll see you later.